Hello and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 387. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Thank you for listening to the blogcast, and thank you for your patience the last couple of weeks. That nasty cold on top of trying to produce a whole other podcast while simultaneously trying to produce a live show of the same thing. Anyway, I think it was a little much. But here I am. I'm back and ready to roll. And this blog was inspired by some of the work that I had to do to get that project off the ground. So it's all of a piece here today. So let me read it to you. It is called, "It is so much easier to not make things." It's December. I'm back to putting on a show. I'm doing all the things you have to do to make a show happen. I'm getting a team together, I'm casting actors, I'm writing a press release, I'm crafting a marketing strategy, and at every inflection point, I think, golly, this is hard. I think, why did I get myself into this? And at every turn in the road, I think, wouldn't it be easier to just not? At every mile marker, I feel sure I've made an irreversible mistake and failure is inevitable. The fact is, it would be easier to just not. It's always easier to not do than to do. Always. Well, almost always. It would be nice if the arc of the universe bent toward justice, but it seems more accurately to bend toward inertia. It is really quite remarkable anyone makes anything at all. I have renewed admiration for anyone who ever had an idea and then did it. It is so much easier to have an idea and then just sit around hoping something will happen with it. That is what most people do. And the reason that is what most people do is because it is incredibly much easier. I make things all the time, but mostly I do them by myself, in a structure that doesn't require me to do a lot of the extra challenging stuff. With things like writing and learning new songs, I have created a structure such that I don't have to overcome inertia every time I do them. I have practices and regular routines that make those kinds of makings relatively easy. Because while it is easier not to make most things, I find it very hard to not make anything at all. I understand this is a contradiction, but not all making is alike. Sometimes when you're making, you can just keep making because once you've dug the trench for the water, it can mostly just keep flowing. The trouble comes when you're trying to make something new, where no trench has previously been dug. That's when you realize how much easier it is to not make something. And the thing of it is, most things in the world are not made by one single person deciding to make a thing. Most things tend to be variations on things that have been made before. That is, there are systems in place to join in on and do, along with the many others who have done it before. No one has to dig a trench. The water is already flowing. That's why it's easier to put on the Olympics than it is for a single artist to put on a small show. The Olympics doesn't depend on one person to make it go. The most key person in the producing of the Olympics could get sick and step out, and we would still have the Olympics. But if I stop pushing my show up the hill, it's going to roll back down over me. And more significantly, it will not happen. The ways it would be easier not to bother are legion. You may wonder, why do such things if they're so hard? Sometimes I wonder that too. It would be easier to not do things, or even to do things that are already in motion. Maybe get on the team for producing the Olympics somewhere, and just be carried along by the rushing water of a giant thing in motion. But I guess there is something very special about making something, even if it isn't easy. I bow to everyone who has chosen to make something, particularly art, with no previously forged path, with no precedent, no trench already dug. It is so much easier not to. And I have newfound appreciation for everyone who does those things anyway. So I wrote this back in December, and we are in a very different phase of the show now. I can still relate to this, though. It's not all that much easier. Although at the point that I wrote this, I was in a space of like having to really figure out a lot of things that have already at this point been figured out. Now, do I question some of those decisions? Yes, I do. And every time we do it, we've done 2 shows now, and every time I am working out like, oh, what can we do to make this go more smoothly, to make it better, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. But we are halfway through the production schedule and putting out of the podcasts, because that's also happening simultaneously. So there are these live shows where we are recording them, and then we are in the editing process, figuring out, what we need to cut, how we need to fix it up, etc. So it's just pretty full on, nonstop. Woo! So I will put in this feed the first episode of The Defense. That's the show, by the way. If I haven't said, I probably haven't. It's called The Defense. And you can subscribe on any podcast platform. If you are on a podcast platform and you can't find it, let me know, and I will make sure to put it on there. Sometimes you search in a podcast app, though, and they have it, but they somehow don't show it to you. This happens to me all the time. So it could be that, or it could be that we're not on it yet. So if that's the case for you, let me know, and I will put it there. So I'm going to put an episode of it in this feed so you can, give it a shot, give it a sample without having to subscribe to a whole new thing. Although subscribing to a whole new thing really does help us out. So, 5 stars, the whole deal. Oh, speaking of which, if you like this podcast, awesome. Please tell someone about it. Like, review, subscribe. You can do that for all of my podcasts, and I have many apparently. That would be great. And if you'd like to support this podcast or the writing or any of it with your dollars, you can do that on Patreon, patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's also Ko-fi, there's PayPal. All those links are in the show notes. You could also subscribe with a paid subscription on Substack. Although apparently they have a Nazi problem on Substack now, which is, great. Okay, great. But for now, I'm still there. And I will go anywhere. If you have a place that you like to support artists, let me know, and I can look into it. So that would be amazing. And especially thank you for listening. It really does mean a lot, and I appreciate your ears. So, what song am I going to put here? Well, I have learned the Commodores' song, Easy. And it was not easy to learn. Not easy like a Sunday morning or easy in any way, but I did it. And I enjoyed recording it quite a lot. I've added a bunch of harmonies just because it felt like it made it easier. And I don't have like a smooth kind of instrumental background, so I have made the ease of the Sunday morning more harmonies than instrumental. So, yeah. This song is very odd to me. I mean, I grew up hearing it, and it just sort of, I generalized it as it being about an easy Sunday morning, because he says he's easy like a Sunday morning. And it's not really about that. I find it very, like, it's really a breakup song. And I mean, what do you guys think? Is he saying he's easy in that he's kind of slutty? Is that what it is? Is that what the song is? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I find this song baffling, but I enjoyed it very much regardless. So I'm going to play for you now Easy by the Commodores. I believe this is a Lionel Richie song. It sounds like a Lionel Richie song, and I believe it is him singing it. So, of course, yeah, well, here it is. Easy. Sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can. See, I begged, stole, and I borrowed. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Why in the world would anybody put chains on me? I paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be what they want me to be. I'm not happy when I try to fake it. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. I wanna be high. I wanna be high, so high. I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. I wanna be free. I wanna be free, just me. Whoa, yeah. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why